This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, well, welcome everyone. This is Sam Sanson with USA Voice and Data. I'm very pleased to have two folks join us here today from Vonage, Scarlett and Dustin. Welcome, folks.
Thank you.
And
thank you so much.
And today we're going to be focusing on providing great customer and agent experiences and really talking about transforming the whole contact center experience. So for those folks who are either joining us live today or watching the video, we've got some great content here for you today. And for those who are online with us, please don't hesitate to jump in and ask questions and so on and so forth. We'll be reviewing the whole environment of contact center and how that's changing with the adoption of cloud solutions. And we're also going to be talking about what's driving that adoption and how to actually evaluate your different solution options for a cloud-based contact center. And then finally, obviously, we're definitely be introducing Vonage, and they're going to be running through their solution and actually providing us a real live demo of their fully integrated solution. I think Dustin's got something pretty sweet set up for you guys to see. So, so anyway, here is, give me 1 second. So the agenda, first of all, we're going to do a real brief, what is CCaaS and what are the features that are becoming standard in a modern CCaaS solution. So for folks who are have a traditional premise-based contact center solution, obviously one of the main reasons for moving to a new solution is for some of the new features. So I wanted to just touch base real briefly on what those key features are in a modern solution. I'm going to introduce USA Voice and Data, my company, and how we help clients evaluate their CCaaS options in conjunction with some other technologies that we help them with. And then we're going to be sharing our leading insight into that adoption and specifically the drivers behind it. So you'll be able to see for yourselves which of those drivers are true for your business. And I think largely they kind of fall into 9 categories, and I'll dive into those individually when we get there. And then, the real crux of the matter, why is customer experience and agent experience, why does it matter more now than ever? And I've got some unbelievable statistics to share, which really drive that home. I'll be introducing Vonage, and Scarlett's going to be running through a brief intro before we hand over to Dustin for his actual live demo of the VCC Vonage Contact Center solution. We'll be wrapping up with some takeaways and how to get started with your CCaaS options. So let's just kick off. What is CCaaS? It's basically a call center software that's hosted in the cloud. And instead of you spending a lot of money up front for a piece of hardware which goes out of date, you're basically paying on a monthly basis for a license for software which is permanently being upgraded by the provider. And that software is really focused around providing a better customer experience and better employee experience. So modern CCaaS features, I'm going to start with the last first. Obviously, one of the great things about cloud is it provides scalability, flexibility, reliability, and redundancy. So huge from a business continuity perspective, and really can help you scale and change based upon how your business changes, frankly. Obviously, omni-channel customer engagement. People aren't just interested in getting support over the phone, although that still is a major key component. People are getting chat support, tech support, you name it, email, the whole 9 yards, and it needs to be really well integrated. From a management perspective, managing your agents, who's going to be working when, quality management, making sure you're seeing your agents are doing a great job, identifying training opportunities, etc. Performance management for those folks who are involved with the actual running of the contact center, and with that come a whole bunch of analytics, insights, and reporting for management, etc. And a big thing now as well, folks are looking to improve productivity and satisfaction by leveraging artificial intelligence and knowledge management. I think Dustin might actually have something that he's going to show you today, which kind of reinforces that. And then enterprise collaboration, understanding that some questions that get posed to the contact center need to actually get supported for answers from folks within the core business. So being able to collaborate internally within the business but outside of the contact center is becoming more important. And obviously everybody's implementing new CRMs and needs applications to be integrated to drive productivity, etc. So who's USA Voice and Data? Really briefly, we're a technology solutions advisory and brokering firm. We work with businesses around a whole host of different solution categories here on the left, and we really pitch ourselves as educators, advisors for our clients, making sure they understand the latest technology solutions and who the different providers are, and make sure that they do a thorough evaluation of their options before pulling the trigger. And then obviously we help them drive the very best in pricing from the competing different providers and so on and so forth. So that's really our core goals. We have a huge portfolio of leading unified communications and contact center as a service solution providers. Here's just a handful of them. Obviously highlighted in red here, we see Vonage, obviously one of the leading names. Because we do this every day, because our whole goal is to stay on top of the latest technologies and who the latest vendors are and what the benefits of their different solutions are, our engineers see hundreds and hundreds of different client opportunities every year. And as a result, we get to understand how the different providers answer the different requirements for our different clients. And what we've done, we've taken all that knowledge gathered from helping hundreds of clients like yourselves, and we've generated these matrices, which allow us to very quickly, by having you answer some questions around your key goals and requirements, allows us to very quickly take this growing number of different solution providers and narrow down so we get a real best fit straight out of the gate. So instead of you spending months potentially entertaining and interviewing different providers who may or may not be a great fit for your solutions, we can help you fast forward that and immediately identify 2 or 3 different providers that we know, based upon your requirements, are going to do a phenomenal job. And then we can set up demos with those folks and run into more detail, let you experience the different solutions for yourself. That way you're not wasting an awful lot of time kicking a bunch of tires for providers who aren't necessarily a great fit for you. To help us leverage those matrices, we've developed interactive quick assessments, which we would send you, and they take no more than 10 to 15 minutes to complete. And based upon how you answer specific questions, those assessments either expand or contract to gather more detailed information. So for instance, obviously things like what applications are you looking to integrate to? What CRM do you use? So on and so forth. Do you have any specific hardware that you're looking to leverage, etc., and reuse, etc., maybe handsets or whatever? All of that sort of information would get gathered, and once we have that information, we can use our matrices to very quickly narrow down the field, but B, we can very quickly pull together some budgetary estimates of what these different service providers would charge you for the services that you're looking to put in place. Those budgetary prices would then be firmed up during the process where we actually organize the individual interactive demos for you with the couple of providers that are best fit for you before you solidify. And then obviously you as the client gets to choose whichever solution provider you want to for your services. That's the benefit of working with a broker. We provide advisor and broker. We provide all the expertise and do an awful lot of heavy lifting for you, so we can narrow it down, and then you can get to see the different solutions in action and then make a decision before pulling the trigger. So with that, enough about us. Let's talk about adoption of UCaaS and CCaaS solution. And frankly, it's been pretty explosive. Obviously, the background is, hey, there's over $1 trillion of aging communications infrastructure out there, maybe more. And then we have these major forces driving adoption of cloud services. We've got more and more distributed workforces and people requiring to be mobile. So that means not only the workforce, but also your clients are very mobile too. So how you interact with them is very different as well. Secondly, everybody's looking to integrate their workflows to drive efficiencies. Thirdly, your customers are looking for a personalized customer experience, and we'll definitely dive into a great deal of more details and provide you some pretty alarming statistics around that personalized customer experience too. And then, of course, welcome to 2020. COVID-19 suddenly just hit the accelerator pedal for everybody because all of a sudden their contact centers couldn't be staffed the way they needed to be staffed to provide a safe working environment. So all of a sudden, everybody needs to be able to work remotely. And obviously that is not something easy necessarily to do with a traditional premise-based contact center. Neither from a actual practical standpoint of actually getting phones working and ringing different people in different places, but also from a control and reporting and management perspective, it just becomes a huge headache. And that headache kind of disappears with a cloud-based solution. So the CCaaS market, contact center as a solution market, is rapidly changing. It is rapidly, the adoption is extremely rapid right now, and it's been going up, right? So in 2016, they were estimating 100 billion in revenue in CCaaS revenue, and I would tell you that I'm sure that's probably been surpassed already in 2020 due to this sort of hockey stick nature of the adoption. So when we look back at traditional contact center pain points, it's not like these pain points have disappeared. They're still relevant for the modern contact center. There's still the need to reduce agent attrition. There's still the need to provide one-call resolution, and you need to make sure that the tools are in place to enable that. There's still a need for actionable analytics. In fact, that need has probably grown even greater because your actual customers, expect more of you now than they have ever done. And then obviously you want to get the calls to the right person 5 times immediately versus a bunch of transferring and so on and so forth. So any delays is just going to decimate your customer satisfaction. Lack of omni-channel support and reporting, maintenance moves, adds, and changes. All of those were very traditional types of contact center. So what we're seeing now for contact center as a solution, what are the 9 drivers that I spoke of? You know, workforce optimization. People are looking to obviously manage their workforce a lot more effectively and efficiently. There's folks that need a global presence. Everyone wants to get out of hardware maintenance costs. On the right-hand side, we mentioned omni-channel support is kind of almost a requirement now. Social media support is even required now. And more and more businesses are looking to avoid CapEx wherever possible. Excuse me, my dog's going ballistic downstairs. So my girlfriend's taking care of that. But the 3 biggest drivers are in the middle, and they're really around expanding and retaining talent. That's that employee experience, improving customer experience, CX, obviously, and then thirdly, massive changes and upgrades taking place for CRMs. So everybody is now got a new cloud-based CRM, it seems, or if they haven't, they're moving to one. So whether it's Salesforce or it's Zendesk or it's ServiceNow or whatever, all of those transitions trigger, this is the perfect time to move away from our old contact center platform and move into something more sophisticated and more flexible and more reliable. And that's really a huge deal. Scarlett, can you give me an idea of how many, what percentage of your clients would basically fall into each of those categories as their main adoption driver? Could you throw some numbers out there as a percentage?
It's a significant percentage, Sam, of customers who are looking to solve for these problems. The biggest driver, 99% of our customers are looking at ways that they can improve the customer and agent experience, right? They want to fight against attrition, and they're very much tied together. The experience matters for your employees and for your customers. So upwards of 90% of our customers are hitting those 3 buckets.
Right. Cool. So, so obviously, with COVID in particular, what we're seeing now, contact centers are the new storefront for most businesses, right? So whereas you used to go into potentially a store or some sort of business environment, everyone's accessing whatever they're buying or supporting, etc., from home, right? So those contact centers have been absolutely swamped with additional, if you like, interactions that previously potentially were being handled by people face-to-face interacting with clients. So contact centers, yeah, are the new storefront. That's a big message that we have for our clients. It's not business as usual anymore. Contact centers have become, as important as they were beforehand, they're even more important. So what are those customers wanting to do? They're wanting to communicate in multiple channels. And equally, the agents are requiring the ability to work from home. And that remote agent thing is here to stay. I mean, while there's going to be some transitions and people moving back to the contact centers and so on and so forth, I think there's going to be a significant emphasis on remote agents for here on. I mean, there's just an awful lot of costs involved of managing facilities and so on and so forth. And if something can be managed remotely, cost effectively, and safely, I think that's going to be here for a long time. Augmentation. Folks are going to use AIs and APIs to create efficiency. So that means not only maybe answering some recurring matters using bots and so on and so forth, but also leveraging AI to pop relevant information for a particular client call to the agent. So thereby improving the agent's efficiency and improving that overall, if you like, collaboration between an agent and a customer. So anyway, that's a big deal. And obviously everything's going to the cloud. So why is it that customer experience and agent experience matters now more than ever? The customers want their interaction to be effortless. So 75% of customers these days still say it takes too long to reach an agent. 80% of adults and 91% of teenagers use messaging apps on a daily basis, right? So that's a different experience. And if you take a look at the younger folks, the Gen Zs and the millennials, after 5 poor customer service experiences, they will cut ties with a vendor and make a change. So if you're giving them any excuse to make a change, they will make a change. So take a look at the American Express survey, and they said 59% would try a new brand or company for a better service experience. And so, gone are the days where, you've got a customer for life. It's too easy to make changes these days, right? And customers are not feeling like they're handcuffed to a particular solution anymore. So, that's why you've got to make their experience spectacular. And I think Scarlett hit the nail on the head. It's, experience is both sides of the table. It can't be either customer experience or employee experience. It really has to be both, right? So Gartner did this customer experience survey, said in 2 years' time, 81% of customers, of businesses say they expect to be competing mostly on the basis of the customer experience that they're providing their customers. That's pretty alarming, 81%. And also, for those that excel at customer experience, they tend to have more engaged employees. So good customer experience and good employee experience, they are somewhat tied together. By answering CX, you can make the EX a better number. So how do you provide great customer and agent experiences? You genuinely focus on their experiences. So for these, we've identified 5 key improvements for experience, and those are enabling remote workers, enabling interactions with customers, enhancing team collaboration. So when you're talking with somebody and you're having to either with the customer, being able to potentially share, if you're on web support, being able to share your desktop, show them what you're looking at, provide them with relevant information. It becomes more of a collaboration versus a traditional support experience where they have no idea what you're looking at when you're answering their questions and so on and so forth. So that collaboration is further enriched as well when you're working with other folks within the business. So lots of ability to integrate with folks outside your contact center is going to be huge. Handling greater interaction volumes, we talked about. It's, the contact center is your new storefront. and those interaction volumes are increasing. So how do you go ahead and enrich those interactions with data and with AI? And how do you enrich those customer interactions with video? I mean, how many of you now spend probably 70% of your time on Teams meetings, GoToMeetings, Zoom meetings, whatever, where you're actually meeting with people with video versus just having a phone call? That's going to be continue to be a big deal. So anyway, it's time to transform your relationships with an integrated communications experience. And that is very much front and center of Vonage. And with that, I'm happy to hand you over to Scarlett, who's going to give you a real high level of Vonage and their whole platform, etc. Scarlett, over to you. Just let me know if you want me to move on with the slides, and I will do so. Thanks so much.
Perfect. No, Sam, my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. I popped back on video because, to your point, our new normal is contactless. We're virtual. We're working from home, and my daughter's e-learning, but she's on break, so she's in and out of the kitchen behind me. So don't mind her. I'm happy to be here. And I think, Sam, you did a great job kind of laying out the importance for contact center. Why does customer experience matter? Because we're voting with our dollars. You have to retain your customers. You have to retain your employees, and you have to innovate. And the way you're doing that through your online presence, through your digital and social media and marketing, and through your contact center is really what defines the customer experience. When we look at Vonage today, we're the most flexible cloud communications platform and among the largest and most profitable cloud communications providers, which is what you see here. We wholly own our technology stack. It consists of unified communications, contact center as a service, and then our programmable API platform. Our programmable API platform is voice and video, SMS, social, and email. And when you put those three things together, it really allows us to deliver the best experience for our employees and customers. Stay on this slide with me for a minute. This is kind of a macro overview of Vonage. I'm going to go through Vonage really quickly because I want to leave Dustin enough time to show the contact center, because I really do think it speaks to everything you've mentioned. We're built on a global carrier network, so we have direct relationships with more than 80 different global companies connecting to the PSTN. That's the reliability of the backbone. That's how we guarantee and make sure that all of your calls are completed. Vonage itself is built in the cloud on a public cloud infrastructure within AWS. That gives us high reliability and availability, global redundancy. And then within our microarchitecture structure of Vonage itself, we have these three silos of services: unified communications, the API platform, and contact center. All of these are fully integrated, and because we become very flexible by being able to have our own developers working alongside each other to make sure that all of the products work seamlessly together. When you go around outside to the left, you see our Vonage integration suite. These are native and direct integrations with the other services that our customers are using. So Salesforce 365, Teams, Dynamics, all of these allow us to deliver a better customer and employee experience by having those deep and rich integrations, keeping all of your data into a single place, allowing you to have better reporting. You can go to the next slide, which is just kind of giving you a snapshot. Our unified communication platform, we call it Vonage Business Communications. That's really a global platform that allows us to deliver conversations anywhere, anytime, on any platform. Every user gets a enterprise-grade platform that enables communications. They can collaborate, they can team message, they can send SMS messages, they can have a business inbox that makes all of their DIDs textable phone numbers, again, enabling their customers to work anywhere. It's a mobile-first strategy. So yes, you can have a desk phone on your desk, but you can also have an app on your phone or the native desktop app on your laptop. You have the web browser, so you can connect to Vonage and to your organization anywhere. When you go over to the right, this is our Vonage Contact Center, and it's giving a rich integration into the CRM. We're going to show you today our Salesforce integration, but you're going to see embedded omni-channel controls. You're going to see a single pane of glass that really gives you the ability to deliver on the experience. go a little bit forward, I'm going to talk just slightly on what our contact center offerings include. Contact center is a need for every business and every vertical, great or small, more important today than it ever was, especially with COVID. So because we own the technology stack and we can deliver a variety of solutions, from the most simplistic call queues for maybe a small business, all the way up to that fully embedded solution within their CRM. We also have CRM integrations with ServiceNow and Microsoft Dynamics as well, and then the full omni-channel Salesforce integration. We have more fully exploited the Salesforce APIs than any other organization, and that allows us to deliver all of the business intelligence within a single pane of glass. So when we look forward, you can go ahead. It's really easy for me to speak of why Vonage can deliver to you. I think what's more important is what do our customers say about our ability to deliver. So what you're looking here is Vonage through the eyes of our customers using our Salesforce contact center solution. We have a 4.9 rating within the App Store. We're a Summit partner, which is only 25 total partners within the Salesforce ecosystem can make a Summit claim. That's us. We have more than 750 customer reviews with a 5-star rating, and we're supporting 1.5 billion interactions. The ability to do custom object routing within Salesforce makes the solution incredibly flexible and enables you to do a lot of things that you would not do if you did not have an integration within the CRM. The last one before I go is we talk about how important it is to deliver a customer experience. And this is an example of RAM Tracking, who migrated over to our Vonage contact center solution. They were able to see an increase in their customer satisfaction and net promoter scores by 70%. So they were able to, and the reason they got to that 70% increase is because there was a 64% reduction in the training time and operations time to deliver it. And they were able to see a 47% increase in their pipeline since they implemented the Vonage solution. So we have some really great customer success stories. I know you mentioned artificial intelligence. That's absolutely an offering that we can have. We start laying on artificial intelligence, conversation analyzers, omni-channel solutions, and then you have a really sophisticated platform. Some of our customers were experiencing just an incredible amount of increased call volumes, and by leveraging on AI to handle the most common requests coming into the contact center, they were able to reduce their call volume by 30%. It's a lot easier to spin up AI and agents than it is to hire and train those live agents themselves. So that's just incredibly high level. I'm going to hand it over to Dustin. Dustin's going to show us a peek into the Vonage contact center solution. We're going to focus on just a few key things. We're happy to do this demo anytime in more in-depth, but we'll work within the time that we have today.
Dustin, I just made you presenter, so you should be able to share your screen.
Okay, yeah, just 1 second. It popped up with new permission request there just for a second there. Let me get that done. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen here and let's pray. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. It says that I need to restart GoToMeeting for the screen share to come on. So give me 1 second. I'll pop right back in.
You got it.
We all use so many. They fight for control, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm back in. And
Okay.
let's see. The screen share icon is grayed out.
Okay, hang on. Let me just. Hang on 1 second. There you go.
Okay, so need to adjust a permission here. 1 second. And it says I need to restart GoToMeeting again. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that.
Hopefully we're not stuck in a loop.
Well, maybe we just need to, let me just get rid of you.
I had a new computer a couple days ago, and so this is the first time I've used GoToMeeting since then. And so I'm sure it's just needs access to all these permissions. Okay, so once again, this screen share is grayed out.
Okay.
Right. Okay, now it's allowing me to. So let's pick the right screen here and hit share. All right, can you see my screen?
No. Oh, yes, now. Yes, thank you.
Okay. Yep, I'm sorry about that. Like I said, first time using GoToMeeting since the new computer. But you know, as Charlotte was talking about, we've got this, or Scarlett, sorry, we've got this integration with Salesforce, and this is one of our leading products. When you hear contact center and Salesforce, you need to think Vonage. We win such a high percentage of the deals that come to us with contact center and Salesforce. And the reason is it's just such a gratifying experience. So you can see this appears to be just like Salesforce, but down here at the bottom, we have a new bar that's been embedded within the system. And so when I click on the phone icon, normally it would ask us to sign in. I've already signed in on here. And this is what we call the contact pad. So this is the control pad for all of the contact center type of functionality. So we have the ability to take a look to see which telephone numbers are associated with this particular agent. We can see if we have any interactions currently active. We can look back at our history. We can even review our voicemail from within this contact pad. And then we can look at the queue to see how many callers are queued up in the queues that I'm a part of as an agent, and how many have been interrupted, if there's any priority calls within the contact center queue itself. And then of course you've got the ability as an agent to change your disposition code here, or your status. So I can put myself into a meeting, I can put myself into you know, lunch mode, I can go into ready online mode, and you see it's just becomes part of the same experience that agents have when they're working in Salesforce. So they don't need to go out to another tool. They don't need to have a second screen on their computer. They stay within the same environment they're used to working in. So Scarlett mentioned the artificial intelligence, and that's just basically a set of rules set up on the backside, and we'll show you how that gets accomplished here in a second. But that allows you to offload some of the work that would normally go to agents into a self-service type environment. And so to demo that here, I'm going to go ahead and place a call from my cell phone, and then I'm going to hold the cell phone up to the microphone so you can hear it.
To the Bondage Contact Center demonstration line.
Give me a sec.
We noticed that you recently opened a case, number 39476, with the subject of IVR case. If you are calling regarding this case, press 1. If you are calling please hold while we transfer you to an agent.
So you see right there, I've got a pop-up saying, hey, there's an incoming call. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. And then I need to mute. Sorry about that. All right, so now I'm online with the inbound caller, and you can see that Salesforce, it had automatically found my case based upon the inbound telephone number that I was calling. And when I said that is the case that I want to work on, it did a screen pop. And so now I can take notes against the case and then save them and keep going. You can set disposition codes with it as well. So I'm going to say call outcome is a sales inquiry here. And I'm going to go ahead and save that. And now it says my notes are saved. And so then I'm going to release this call as the agent because I'm done working with the client. And then it's going to prompt me for a post-call survey.
Participating in this short survey. Did we resolve your issue effectively the first time? For yes, press 1. For no, press 2. on a scale from 0 to 10.
So you get the idea on that. It's going to go ahead and grab that post-call survey information and log that automatically against the Salesforce record as well. So you can see how just by automatically looking up people's records and popping them directly into Salesforce, it offloads a lot of that work from the actual agents, which would mean you wouldn't need as many agents. And so if we take this example even further, we can go ahead and have a website established. We have a chatbot set up here. And actually what I'm going to do is going to create a split screen here so we can see both sides of it. And come back to the Salesforce record right here, and then resize this a little bit. All right. And so within the website, we've got this chatbot, and I'm going to go ahead and put in my information here, say start chatting. And now it's going to say, hello, this is powered by Einstein, which is owned by IBM. How can I help you today? And I'm going to say, well, I've got an inquiry about a product. And they're going to say, okay, let me know your email address. So I'm going to put that in. And oops, I forgot. This one is case sensitive. So let me do this. Let me end this and start over again. Let's chat. Okay. All right, so we're back to this menu. We want product help. It's going to ask for my email address. And now it's going to say they're going to, I was previously working with this agent. Would I like to chat with them now? I'm going to say yes. And now we can, it says I'm number 1 in line, and it says please wait. And so if we come over to this side, we can see a chat session has been established. And then I can go ahead and answer this chat session and then start chatting with somebody there. I'm going to say hello. And then we can go ahead and respond back. How can I help you? So, somebody brought up earlier that today's environment, people, youngsters, they don't want to talk to anybody. They want to just chat with them, text, instant message, chatbot, and we can support all that. We can integrate with Facebook, we can integrate with WhatsApp, we can integrate with SMS chats, and allow you to talk in a textual context instead of a verbal context. So I'm just going to go ahead and end that chat, and it says chat ended by agent there. Additionally, when you have these voice conversations going on, we can implement something called the Conversation Analyzer. So Conversation Analyzer will record the entire conversation, and then based upon the rules that you've set up, it will listen to those calls and mark the words, whether they were polite, whether they were in compliance. It'll go ahead and highlight that information throughout the entire conversation. It'll show you when the agent was speaking, when the customer was speaking. It'll allow you to go ahead and place notes against different sections within that conversation. So you can see here an agent was saying, welcome to Vonage, can I please help confirm your full name? And then over here, you get the information, the notes that were placed against that conversation. And so you can come through here and look at how many times a word was tagged against predefined categories or buckets that you've set up. And then it allows you to break down the entire call and see how much of that was spent, with the agent talking, with the customer talking, maybe just silence on the line. And then you can go even further on category filters and apply sentiment analysis to it. So, you know, did the customer use an F word, for example? And, you know, we're going to go ahead and make that a bad sentiment. And it allows you to really gain further insight into how your customer interactions are progressing.
Dustin, is this actually transcribing the conversation and then looking up these words, or how's this happening? Is it transcription based, or is it just?
Yeah, it's not real time though, and so as soon as the call is over, it's recorded the entire call. Then it transcribes the audio, you know, it sends it up to the cloud into the AI environment. It transcribes that call, and then it applies all these rules and filters into it. So you do get the text by text transcription of the entire agent interaction with the customer.
So this is obviously a phenomenal for sort of training and identifying training opportunities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How about anything real time, such that if something's going on real time, maybe a supervisor can jump in or something?
Yeah, so I mean, our system does have that ability to you know, listen in on the call as the supervisor, monitoring, some people call it, and then they can whisper back and give, you know, a new hire, a new agent advice on what to do, or they can text them. Texting tends to be less disruptive to a conversation flow than having somebody else speak into your ear. But the conversation analyzer at this point does not work in real time.
Okay.
And so that's a real brief overview of how the Salesforce interaction works. You can see it's really slick, all built into the same environment here. The omni-channel, you can set up those chats, emails, text information to communicate with your agents. And the way that's all configured is on the back end here. Don't get overwhelmed on this, but I want to show you the power of it. Now, our teams will work with you and will help establish the initial call flow, all the initial reporting, any types of rules you need and things like that. But then after that, if your contact center administrator wants to come in and make tweaks and edits to the way the system flows, they would come into this portal to go ahead and make those changes. Now, if you don't have Salesforce, you still can access the contact pad, and it can be as minimal as something like this, just sitting in the upper corner of somebody's workspace, or we even have the capability to blend it in to our UCaaS environment, so it'll become a pane of glass on the side of the UCaaS environment over here. And then once you're inside of the administration portal, you have the ability to modify skills. So we've got skill-based routing. For instance, you can say, Scarlett has, you know, a 80% proficiency in German, and she also works on the refrigerator section. And so when a customer calls in, you can route them through IVRs or auto attendants that say, you know, press 1 for English, 2 for German. And as soon as they hit German, the system's automatically analyzed all the agents that speak German and find out who's available and what their proficiency level is at German, and then will route calls to the most proficient people. And then maybe they get to another menu that says, what do you need help with? Oh, refrigerators. Well, look at that. Scarlett is an expert with refrigerators and speaks German. And so it really helps you get to the right people fast. We have the capability to do all sorts of dashboards within the system. So here's an agent dashboard that was set up by one of our users. These are essentially widgets you can drag onto the screen. We've got plain text widgets. We've also got graphical widgets that will show you bar charts and graphs and things like that, raw detail. All of these types of things can be exported into CSV files, you know, comma separated value files, text files. They can be sent out as PDFs, emailed to people. Let me see if I can find a dashboard with some nice graphics on it here. Let's see, I had one the other day. Let's try this. Here we go. So this shows agent availability, how many agents are logged out, how many are online, how many are away right now, and then it's going to break down each one of the queues they're involved in, show the number of calls during the day, and any of these agents or these reports can be saved and manipulated and scheduled at particular dates and times. The interaction architect, this is really where the power in our system comes from. And so when we come into here, let's just pick a random one here and hit display. This doesn't mean a whole lot here. This is where you can add different widgets, let's call it. But where it gets really cool is when we hit visualize, and now we can see exactly what's going on. So a call comes in, it gets sent to here, then it goes out to the IVR, and it allows you to easily add different applets or widgets into the system. And we can just go ahead and drag that onto the screen and give it a name. Let's do test and hit add. Oop, error adding out. Let me go to a different one. Let's see, customer service line. Let's take a look at that one. And so you can see by having a visual call flow, it makes it so much easier to understand when a call comes in, what happens to that call. So right here, we're going to play a welcome announcement. We're going to start call recording. We're going to go ahead and send it to the contact center. We're going to look up the customer's number. And so that's why I said I don't want you to get overwhelmed. You can see this gets pretty intense if you need it to be, or it can be very simple. But again, our support team will help you configure this and design it at the beginning. And then we're always available for help going forward. But if you wanted to undertake some of this yourself, it's easy to do once you've learned how to do it.
So Dustin, just we've got just a couple of minutes, and then I need to be wrapping up. So
sure.
Anything more here? Obviously, it's hugely sophisticated, but at the same time, it looks a pretty simple interface, very user-friendly sort of interface.
Yeah.
Anything else that you really need to be showing us for?
Scarlett, was there anything else you wanted me to pop up on the screen?
No. I think I think we'll leave it on that. To Sam's point, it's when you're a Salesforce agent, when you're a contact center agent, and your primary workflow is Salesforce, we then layer on all the sophisticated underworkings of a contact center and make it very easy for the user to use, right? They're answering and receiving calls. They live and breathe within Salesforce. All of their customer data pops up on the screen, and overall, it's a simplistic experience for the user and the employee.
Right. And again, I think, you know, where Vonage really differentiates themselves is because they do have a more complete integrated platform, which doesn't just do contact center, but it also does UCaaS, and it also does all the messaging and so on and so forth. That really differentiates them from a lot of the other contact center players. So if folks out there do have a contact center need, etc., do not hesitate to reach out to me. We can schedule a review of your requirements, as I said, and have you complete one of our IQAs, etc. And then we'll be only too happy to schedule detailed deep dive demos and so on and so forth with Dustin or whoever that makes sense. With that, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly make myself presenter again.
Okay.
And thanks so much, Dustin. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
Hopefully you can see my screen still.
Yes.
Okay. So last two slides just to wrap up. Key CCaaS solution takeaways. Obviously, cloud is the future. There's all sorts of premise-based equipment manufacturers who have gone bankrupt, etc. And those others are in the midst of transitioning to offering cloud-based solutions, etc. Obviously, one of the nice things about the Vonage solution, it's all cloud-based, and it's all their own proprietary software, etc. And it's all, you know, AWS microservices infrastructure, so super reliable, etc. CCaaS adoption has absolutely reached mainstream, and those adoption rates, while high previously, they're increasing exponentially due to COVID and people needing to enable remote working for their contact center employees. And then the final bucket here is like, hey, it's all about the combined customer experience and employee experience. That's what's going to make you successful as a business. If you're offering outstanding customer experience and at the same time you're providing an enjoyable experience for your employees, you're gonna survive and you're gonna prosper. If you haven't enriched those experience for a long time, more than likely those relationships have started to dwindle. So now's the perfect time to be taking a look at this stuff. And then finally, how again to get started evaluating your CCaaS options. Reach out to one of our CCaaS experts. Any of those numbers there work. Drop a quick email, or even just drop an email to info@usavoicedata.com. We'll reach straight back out to you, and we'll quickly send you an email with a link to our CCaaS interactive quick assessment. Be a great way to very quickly speed up your review process of your different solution options and make sure that you really nail down a solution provider who can really fulfill all of your requirements and do so cost effectively. With that, I'd just like to wrap up. Thank you so much for your time today. This whole thing has been recorded, and you will be receiving an email with a link to the video. The video will also appear on our website fairly shortly afterwards. In our Learning Center solution demo videos here, we have a whole bunch of past videos, etc. on CCaaS, UCaaS, you name it, Teams, you name it. So thanks again for everyone's time today. Have a great rest of the week, and stay warm now the weather's changing. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sam.
Thank
Talk to
you.
soon.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Justin.